Nurse calls Billionaire. Your daughter's unconscious. What happened next left him shattered. The night was alive with the hum of traffic on Manhattan's Upper East Side. Taxi horns, the rush of pedestrians, neon signs flickering against glass towers. Among the noise and glitter, a little girl stumbled on the sidewalk, clutching her chest. Her knees buckled. Her doll dropped from her hand. She hit the ground. "Daddy," she whispered before her small body went limp. Gasps erupted around her, but no one moved. Dozens of people walked by, their eyes glued to phones, hurrying on with their lives. Until one woman stopped. Clara Jennings, a nurse just finishing a double shift, knelt beside the girl. Her instincts kicked in immediately. "Stay with me, sweetheart. Stay with me." She checked her pulse, breathing, eyes. People stared, but Clara didn't care. "Call 911, she shouted, though she was already pulling her phone out with one hand while pressing gentle compressions with the other. Her uniform smelled of antiseptic and fatigue, but in that moment, she was all the girl had. Minutes felt like hours until an ambulance screeched to the curb. Clara climbed in with the child, refusing to let go of her tiny hand. At the same time, miles away in a glittering glass office tower, Alexander Hayes, one of the wealthiest men in the city, was finalizing yet another multi-million-dollar deal. His phone buzzed. He almost ignored it until he saw the caller ID, unknown, NY General ER. Something cold gripped his chest. "Mr. Hayes?" A nurse's voice came through, calm but urgent. "It's your daughter. She's been brought in unconscious. You need to come now." His world stopped. By the time Alexander burst through the ER doors, his perfect suit was disheveled, his tie gone, his breath ragged. He wasn't the billionaire then. He was just a terrified father. Through the glass window of the trauma bay, he saw his daughter lying on the bed, wires attached, doctors moving around her. And at her side, Clara. The nurse he didn't know, holding his daughter's hand like it was her own. "Who are you?" he demanded when the doctors stepped out. His voice cracked, not with anger, but desperation. Clara turned. Her eyes were calm, though her hair was messy from the long shift. "I'm the one who found her on the street." She collapsed. I didn't leave her side. For a moment, Alexander just stared. His daughter's life hung in the balance, and this stranger had been the one to notice, to care, when no one else did. "Why?" he whispered. "Why did you stop?" Clara looked at him, unflinching. "Because she needed me, and because no child deserves to be alone." "Pause here. Tell me, where are you watching this from tonight?" Kin Hidden love seeing stories reach people from all around the world. Drop your country or city in the comments. The hours dragged on. Alexander paced the waiting room, a man used to controlling everything but powerless here. Clara sat nearby, her eyes red with exhaustion, but she refused to leave. Finally, the doctor approached. "She's stable. It was a sudden arrhythmia. Scary but treatable. She'll need monitoring, but she'll be okay." Relief hit Alexander so hard he nearly fell. He stumbled into the room and gathered his daughter into his arms, whispering promises he'd never made before. When he turned back, Clara was slipping out quietly. "Wait," he called. She stopped. "Please, I don't even know how to thank you. Tell me what you want, anything, money, a new home, debt erased, name it." Clara's expression softened, but she shook her head. "I don't want your money. I just want to know she'll be loved enough that she never feels that kind of fear again." Her words struck him deeper than any business deal ever had. Days passed. Alexander's daughter, Sophie, recovered quickly, but she kept asking for Clara, the nurse with the gentle hands who never left her side. One afternoon, Alexander made the drive to the small walk-up apartment where Clara lived. He stood awkwardly at her door, holding flowers in one hand and his daughter clinging to the other. When Clara opened the door, Sophie broke free and ran into her arms. "You came back," she squealed. Clara laughed, hugging her tightly. Then her eyes met Alexander's, questioning. "I know you said you don't want money," he began, "but you've already given me more than I can repay. You reminded me what matters. Sophie doesn't need a billionaire. She needs a father. And I..." I need someone who sees me as more than what I own. Clara blinked, her heart racing. Mr. Hayes. Alexander, he corrected softly. Just Alexander. From then on, he returned often, sometimes with flowers, sometimes with Sophie tugging him along. The walls Clara had built after years of hard work, of seeing too much pain, began to crack. And the man she thought was untouchable slowly revealed himself to be vulnerable, human and achingly lonely. But whispers began to spread. The press snapped photos. Headlines screamed billionaire CEO seen with unknown nurse. Critics called her a gold digger. Socialites whispered she was beneath him. Clara tried to pull away. This isn't my world, Alexander. I can't give Sophie what she needs. I'm not enough. He cupped her face, eyes fierce. You're the only one who was enough when it mattered most. You gave her breath when she had none. You gave me a reason to be more than a man chasing numbers. Don't let the world steal that from us. Tears filled her eyes. Weeks later, at a grand charity gala filled with glittering gowns and flashing cameras, Alexander stepped onto the stage. The crowd hushed. Tonight you all know me as a billionaire, a businessman. But none of that saved my daughter. What saved her was a woman who didn't ask who she was helping, didn't ask what she'd get in return. She gave my child life. And she gave me hope. Gasps filled the room as he stepped down, crossed to Clara and knelt before her, a velvet box in hand. Clara Jennings, will you marry me? She froze, her hand over her mouth, the cameras flashing like fireworks around them. Then she looked at Sophie, who was bouncing with joy, and whispered through tears, Yes. The room erupted. Applause drowned out the whispers, the judgment, the envy. Because in that moment, love had silenced everything else. Months later, Sophie ran through a sunlit garden, laughter echoing through the Hayes estate. Clara watched from the porch, Alexander's arm around her. And in that quiet moment, it didn't matter that he was a billionaire, or that she was just a nurse. All that mattered was that a little girl had a father, a man had found love, and a woman who stopped on a busy street had changed 3 lives forever. Sometimes it's not the money, the titles, or the power that saves us. Sometimes it's the stranger who stops when no one else will, the hand that refuses to let go. Remember this: kindness, given freely, may be the richest gift of all.